that the reason you're not attracting wealth isn't about effort, but alignment. We're taught to hustle, to push harder, to do more. But even after the long hours and sacrifices, something feels stuck. Like success is always almost within reach, but never quite landing. Here's a truth rooted in ancient wisdom. Wealth doesn't just come from action, it comes from energetic alignment. And as we approach April 23rd, 2025, a powerful energetic window opens. One that aligns with 6 sacred numbers that carry more than luck. They carry direction. These numbers, grounded in Buddhist insight, aren't about superstition. They're about using mindful focus to invite prosperity, peace, and purpose into your life. So before we reveal them, let's set your energy right. To kick off this journey, give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss future episodes, packed with clarity and transformation. And here's a challenge to activate your intention right now. Comment below, "I welcome growth and harmony into my life." By doing that, you're already starting to shift your energy toward abundance. Take a deep breath. Let the noise fade. And let's walk together into the quiet power of April 23rd, where wealth begins from within. Number 22, building a life with purpose, brick by brick. In numerology, 22 is often referred to as the master builder, number of vision, foundation, and practical magic. It's not about chasing quick wins or fleeting dreams. It's about constructing something meaningful that stands the test of time. Think of it as the blueprint for your legacy. But why does 22 hold such power? Because it sits at the crossroads between spiritual clarity and material action. It's the number that says, dream big, but build with intention. In Buddhist teachings, this resonates deeply with the idea of right effort, a path of steady, mindful action aligned with wisdom and compassion. To truly build a prosperous life, Buddhism teaches us to start from the inside out. Clarity of mind leads to clarity of action. When our goals rise from ego, they crumble. But when they're rooted in virtue, they become sacred. Let me share a story with you. Martha, 61, had just gone through a painful divorce after 30 years of marriage. Alone and unsure, she decided to rebuild her life, not all at once, but in 22-day cycles. She set simple, heart-led intentions. One cycle to clean her space, another to reconnect with friends, another to start a walking routine. Each 22-day focus became a small brick. With each one, she began to see her life take new shape. Within 6 months, she wasn't just surviving, she was thriving. Not because she forced success, but because she aligned her healing with purpose. This is the secret of 22. It's not about grand gestures, it's about consistency. Whether you're starting a business, healing after loss, or building financial stability. 22 teaches us that success comes not from speed, but from steady movement guided by soul. Practical wisdom. Try this. Pick one goal, just one. Then break it down into a 22-day action plan. Each day, take a small step toward it. Write a daily reflection. At the end of the cycle, review your growth, adjust, and begin again. You'll be surprised how much changes in just 22 days. Use visual cues. Write the number 22 on a sticky note. Put it near your mirror or your workspace. Let it remind you that every day counts, and that your effort when aligned with heart becomes sacred work. As Buddhist wisdom reminds us, with mindfulness, even the smallest act becomes a step toward awakening. So whether you're rebuilding like Martha or simply refining your path, remember that your goals align with your values. They become sacred. And when sacred intention meets steady action, life begins to take form, brick by brick, with strength, purpose, and quiet power. Part 2, number 8, the flow of infinite prosperity. Look at the number 8 for a moment. What do you see? Not just a digit, but a loop, unbroken and endless, a perfect symbol of abundance, balance, and flow. In Eastern traditions, especially in Buddhism and Taoism, the number 8 is seen as a sacred embodiment of harmony, the dance between giving and receiving, action and rest, effort and surrender. This isn't just philosophical poetry, it's practical guidance. In Buddhism, the Noble Eightfold Path outlines the steps toward ending suffering and living with wisdom. Right view, right intention, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and that's the deeper meaning behind 8. It invites you to prosper, but not at any cost. It asks you to flow with life, not fight against it. Marcus, 44, had hit a wall in his career. No promotions, no spark, just the same cycle every day. Then he read about the energy of 8, not as superstition, but as a mindset shift. He began a series of flow rituals. Each morning, he meditated for 8 minutes. He wrote down 8 things he was grateful for. He placed a handwritten number 8 on his bathroom mirror and on his desk. Reminders that life works best when we stop grasping and start flowing. And slowly, everything changed. He stopped forcing outcomes. He started listening to others, to his instincts, to what life was trying to teach him. Within months, new projects came in. A promotion followed. He didn't chase them. They came because he became someone open to flow. That's the magic of 8. Rituals to invite prosperity. Visual anchors. Place the number 8 where you'll see it daily. Mirror, phone, lock screen, journal cover. Not as a superstition, but as a symbol of your commitment to balance. The 8-minute practice. Each morning, sit quietly for 8 minutes. Focus on your breath. Think of one way you can give and one way you're ready to receive. Gratitude x8. Write down 8 things you're thankful for, big or small. Gratitude softens the grip of fear and opens the door to more. Here's what the number 8 teaches us. You don't chase wealth. You attract it by becoming the kind of person who flows with life. When you release the tension of control and embrace the rhythm of presence, abundance finds its way back to you. Just like water flows to fill empty space, so too does prosperity flow to those who are open, grounded, and aligned. So today, don't hustle harder, align deeper, flow softer. And trust that the loop of 8 will always bring back what's truly meant for you. Part 3, number 17, the path of steady resilience. If the number 8 is about flow, then 17 is about fortitude. It's not flashy, it's not fast, but it is fierce, in a quiet, grounded kind of way. Think of 17 as the warrior's number, not the kind who charges into battle, but the one who trains daily, shows up no matter what, and never loses sight of the long game. Where others burn out chasing short-term wins, 17 plays the slow, steady rhythm of endurance. In Buddhist practice, this mirrors the quality of virya, patient effort. Virya is the kind of discipline that doesn't rush, doesn't seek applause, but carries a deep inner resolve. It's the fuel behind monks who meditate for hours, behind mothers who keep showing up with love, behind anyone who keeps going even when no one's watching. Layla, 35, was in a dark place, emotionally drained, buried in debt, and doubting herself at every turn. Big goals felt impossible. But one day, she heard a speaker mention something simple. Write down 17 wins, no matter how small. She tried it, Her list looked like this. 1. Got out of bed. 2. Drank water. 3. Paid $10.00 toward debt. And on it went. Each win was tiny, but they were real, and they began to stack up. She repeated this every day, 17 small victories, tracked with care. After a few weeks, her mood lifted. After 2 months, her finances began to shift, not from some miracle, but from steady, intentional movement. That's what 17 teaches us. You don't need a breakthrough, you need a rhythm. Try this, the 17-day challenge. Choose one habit you want to build, just one. Commit to it for 17 days. It could be walking for 10 minutes, not checking your phone before bed, or journaling your spending. Each day, track it. Keep it visible. At the end of 17 days, reflect. What changed? How do you feel? What did you learn about yourself? This isn't about perfection. It's about building your inner muscle, the one that doesn't quit. In Buddhist practice, even the path to enlightenment is walked one mindful step at a time, not by rushing, but by returning, again and again, to what matters. Success isn't loud, it's consistent. We live in a world that glorifies hustle and big wins, but true growth, the kind that lasts, is often quiet. It happens in the early mornings, in the journal entries no one reads, in the choice to try again. So let 17 be your number of resilience. Let it guide you not toward the finish line, but toward the practice of becoming, day by day, step by step. Part 4, number 9, completion, compassion, and the higher self. The number 9 carries a quiet weight. It's the final digit before everything resets. In numerology and spiritual traditions, it represents completion, maturity, and the bridge between personal success and selfless service. In Buddhist teachings, 9 resonates with the bodhisattva ideal, those who attain deep understanding but choose to stay behind and help others rise. It's not just about personal enlightenment. It's about using your wisdom to uplift the world. So when we talk about the energy of 9, we're not talking about endings in the usual sense. We're talking about legacy, how we close one chapter with grace and begin another with purpose. Harold, 72, spent most of his life working in finance. He had enough saved to retire comfortably, but something was missing. The days felt long, the silence heavy. One morning, he remembered a Buddhist quote he'd once heard. Happiness never decreases by being shared. That day, he made a decision. He would donate 9% of his income, not just to charities, but to people he knew who needed help, quietly, anonymously. He also began mentoring young adults in his community every Thursday. No fanfare, just presence. Within months, his life felt alive again, not because he was doing more, but because his actions were filled with meaning. He found that the joy he once sought in money now came from giving, from serving, from showing up with a full heart. Try this 9-week service and simplicity plan. Set aside the next 9 weeks to live with intention. Each week, choose 1 act of service, help someone, donate, volunteer, listen. 1 act of simplicity, declutter a space, slow down a habit, reduce a need. Keep a small journal. At the end of each week, reflect. What did I give? What did I release? What did I learn? This small practice aligns your energy with 9, not as an ending, but as a deepening. To complete something for others is to complete something within ourselves. You don't need to wait until retirement like Harold. You don't need a fortune to give back. You only need the willingness to let your growth ripple outward. The number 9 asks us to go beyond ourselves, not in sacrifice, but in elevation. It reminds us that success isn't just measured in what we build, but in what we return. So as you walk your own path of abundance, pause for a moment and ask, who can I serve with what I've learned? What can I release to make space for someone else to grow? In that space, you'll find not only peace, but a purpose that money alone could never buy. Part 5, number 6, harmony between your heart and your hustle. In the pursuit of success, it's easy to forget what we're really chasing. We want more income, more impact, more freedom, but not at the cost of our peace, our relationships, or our health. That's where the number 6 steps in, as a gentle guide reminding us to lead with balance, not burnout. In Buddhist philosophy, 6 holds sacred weight. It represents the 6 paramitas, or 6 perfections. 1. Generosity. 2. Discipline. 3. Patience. Diligence. 5. Meditation. 6. Wisdom. These aren't just lofty ideals for monks. They are practical tools, road signs on the journey of daily life. Each one invites us to approach success not as a race, but as a relationship. With ourselves, with others, and with the world around us. Anna, 50, is a small business owner. She runs a cafe, but not just any cafe. She intentionally hires and trains single mothers, giving them flexibility, emotional support, and financial independence. At the same time, she's managed to grow her savings, stay healthy, and meditate daily. She isn't chasing hustle culture. She's designing a life. Her secret? What she calls her 6-point weekly alignment check. Every Sunday, she reflects on 6 core areas. 1. Career. Am I working with purpose? 2. Family. Have I been present with loved ones? 3. Health. How's my body feeling? 4. Finances. Are my money choices aligned with my values? 5. Spirituality. Did I create space for stillness or reflection? 6. Service. Did I help or uplift someone this week? If any area feels neglected, she adjusts. Not with guilt, but with grace. That's the beauty of 6. It offers a complete view of success. A practice you can try. Each week, set aside 15 quiet minutes. Review these 6 categories in your own life. Score each from 1 to 10, not for judgment, but for awareness. Then ask, where am I thriving? Where am I overextending? What small shift could bring more balance? Over time, this habit creates a more intentional rhythm, and from that rhythm, wealth flows. One that nourishes, not depletes. That your success costs your peace, it's not success. We've all been sold the idea that more is better, but 6 reminds us that wholeness is better. That growth built on exhaustion will eventually collapse, but growth built on alignment becomes legacy. So if you're juggling too much, if life feels like a tug of war between ambition and inner calm, let the number 6 bring you back to center. Let it remind you that true success is a circle, not a straight line, where everything you care about can coexist if you build with intention. Part 6, number 3. New beginnings, bold action. The number 3 is often overlooked because of its simplicity, but spiritually, it holds tremendous power. In Buddhist tradition, 3 symbolizes the 3 jewels, the foundation of the spiritual path. 1. The Buddha, our inner potential for awakening. 2. The Dharma, the teachings and truth. 3. The Sangha, the community that supports our journey. Together, these 3 form the triangle of transformation, No single point can stand alone. Each one relies on the others, and so does our growth. When you feel stuck, scattered, or unsure where to begin, the number 3 calls you to take that first courageous step, even if the destination isn't clear. Because you don't need the full roadmap. You just need to move. Doran, 33, had a dream of starting his own freelance business, but fear held him back. Fear of rejection, of not being good enough, of failing before he even began. One day, a mentor gave him this advice. Start with 3. 3 phone calls a day. No expectations, no pressure. So he did. 1 to a past colleague, 1 to a local business, 1 to someone he admired. Some days the calls went nowhere, but others, they opened doors. Clients, collaborations, confidence. Within 3 months, Darren was fully booked, but more importantly, he had broken the pattern of inaction. Momentum became his ally. Start with 3, morning routine. Here's a practice you can adopt today. Each morning, choose 3 small but meaningful actions. 1 that supports your body, a walk, stretch, smoothie. 1 that nurtures your mind, reading, journaling, meditation. 1 that moves you toward a goal, a message, a task, a decision. It's simple, it's doable, and most importantly, it's a way to honor your energy instead of overwhelming it. The wisdom of 3. 3 is the number of creation. A seed needs soil and sunlight to grow. An idea needs courage and action to thrive. A journey needs only the first step to begin. If you've been waiting for the perfect time, this is your sign. Start with 3, just 3, today. You don't need to see the whole path, just the first 3 steps. Clarity often comes after motion, not before it, and the universe doesn't reward hesitation. It meets movement with momentum. So whether you're launching a dream, rebuilding after a setback, or simply trying to get unstuck, remember the power of 3. 3 steps, 3 breaths, 3 choices. That's all it takes to shift your entire day, maybe even your entire life. And as you continue walking this path of mindful wealth, let number 3 be your reminder that beginnings don't need to be big. They just need to be brave. Part 7. Numbers as doorways to stillness and tools for prosperity. In Buddhism, numbers are never just numbers. They're symbols of structure, reflections of natural rhythms, and tools that train the mind to see more clearly. Unlike modern math that treats digits as cold calculations, Buddhist tradition uses numbers to point us inward to clarity, presence, and balance. From the 4 Noble Truths to the Eightfold Path, these numbers act like stepping stones, guiding us toward a life of deeper meaning. They're not superstitions, and they're certainly not magic. Instead, they're patterns, vibrations that help us align our actions with what matters most. Let me share something personal. Years ago, I was stuck in a job that drained me. Each morning felt heavier than the last. I didn't know how to move forward. One day, while visiting a meditation center, I noticed the number 108 everywhere. On mala beads, on the wall, even on a brochure. Curious, I learned that 108 is a sacred number in Buddhism. It represents the number of defilements we must overcome to reach enlightenment. Inspired, I created a simple ritual, 108 breaths each morning. Inhale, exhale, count. As the days passed, something shifted. Not magically, but quietly. Within 3 months, I'd quit my job. Not in a storm of emotion, but in a calm wave of certainty. Numbers can be doorways to stillness. And from stillness comes power. That power can guide not only your inner life, but your financial decisions too. Because money, when approached with intention, becomes more than survival. It becomes a reflection of your values. Let's take a look at some numerology-inspired wealth practices. Rule of 3 savings. Divide your income into 3 categories. 1. Essentials, needs. 2. Growth, investments, education. 3. Giving or joy, what lights you up. This simple system keeps your finances intentional, not impulsive. The monthly number check. One family I spoke to chooses a different number each month for reflection. For example, in a month focused on 6, they check in weekly on 6 life areas: finances, health, relationships, home, work, and spiritual growth. It's not just budgeting, it's balance tracking. Gratitude by the numbers. Try journaling daily, using a number as your lens. For instance, write 8 things you're grateful for if you're focusing on abundance, or track 17 mindful actions if you're working on discipline. It creates consistency without pressure, because at the heart of it, wealth is about more than money. It's about how aligned your outer world is with your inner truth. Money flows where clarity goes. So whether you're breathing through 108 mantras or saving with the rule of 3, let numbers remind you. Success isn't chaotic, it's structured, sacred, and intentional. Let your numbers become more than digits. Let them become practices. Let them become peace. As we close this journey through the 6 sacred numbers, 22, 8, 17, 9, 6, and 3, remember this. Wealth isn't something you chase, it's something you align with. These numbers aren't lottery tickets or lucky charms. They're reminders that success flows from inner clarity, from mindful intention, and from the courage to take one step at a time. Whether you're starting over, building something new, or simply seeking more peace in the life you already have, the path is the same. Purpose over pressure, presence over panic, progress over perfection. So ask yourself, what number resonated with you most today? What part of your life is calling for realignment, simplicity, or renewal? And what's one small step you can take today? Because real transformation doesn't happen all at once. It happens in quiet choices, repeated with heart. If this message spoke to you, like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of insight and inspiration. And let's start a ripple of intention right here. Comment below, I am building my life in alignment with purpose. Let that be your declaration to the universe and to yourself. Until next time, walk gently, live wisely, and remember, the numbers are only the beginning. You are the one who gives them meaning.